Thank you very much, Chairperson. And I too would like to thank the people for profit for this motion here this morning about driving down the cost of energy. And, you know, not pointing the finger at the people who are profit, but quite a lot of people here are talking about driving down the cost of energy, but at the same time they would have supported the carbon tax increase, which crippled the Irish people in relation to extra costs in their fuel, extra costs in their home heating oil, extra costs in their bills, day-to-day bills. And, you know, we are living in a very difficult times, and I know that every chance that we have here in the Dáil, especially the government, they're blaming the war for everything. But the blame for the crisis that we have in this country is because we're not independent in this country. We're not fuel independent, and we have to be. And it's no point in people coming in here waffling and spinning waffles, saying that they don't need, we don't need fuel. We must do without fossil fuel. Unfortunately, until something better comes along, which isn't here at this present time, we have to have it. And I've spoken quite often here about the Barryrow oil field. I'll be ashamed to talk about it, because we're bringing in every kind of frack gas and everything in from the UK. Not a single worry in the world it is in here that we're doing that. But at the same time, when someone gets up here and says maybe we could have our own clean fuel here, like Barryrow or the LNG floating terminal off of Cork Harbour, the proposals I put before Minister Ryan, not a thing happens here. So we continue to import from the UK, completely dependent on the UK for our fuel. We have to have it. I understand and I respect that. But we could actually be having our own fuel and put in a provision, if these companies do succeed with the Barryrows, that they would pay for the wind energy, and that would be coming along the line in 10, 15 or 20 years' time. Even the best experts in the world have been cut out on public airways, because when they're shouting about wind turbines at sea or whatever, and when, you know, it's going to be the dream for this country, but the dream, when they're asked when is it going to happen, is 2035, 2040. So that's where we're at this present time. And until then, we have to continue to live. And I look, you know, I heard people talk about SEI, and we know the delivery there. People waiting over 2 years for to get their homes insulated, which is very, very unfair, because people are perished in their homes these times. This is the coldest week of the year, and people didn't have, a lot of people didn't have the money to heat their house. A lot of people had no choice. We live in a world, and in this country in particular, that we seem to be chasing the ordinary person. And I made that very, very valid point there a week ago in the Dáil here, that there's a gentleman down my way, he can't put one bag of turf at the back of his trailer in a market and sell it, because he's not allowed. So some decent people would like a few lumps of turf to throw on the fire, nothing major. Now, we're not talking about trailers, just one bag of turf so he can sell it. He can't. But at the same time, he can fly 400 jets out to COP27 and fill them full of people, so they can have a good 2 or 3 weeks in the sun, talking since this rubbish, when they could have been at home here doing a Zoom meeting. And what a damage that caused, and was a cause to our environment. But not a worry in the world, there'll be nothing said about that. That's okay to damage the environment that way, but if a gentleman, an innocent man, was to sell a bag of turf so he can heat somebody's home in the back of his trailer, he's banned from doing that. And that's what you told me, Minister Ryan, when I we sent a parliamentary question. He's not allowed to do it. So we're living in an area myself where we're totally dependent on fuel and the cost of it, because there is no public transport. Public transport is at a zero, and it hasn't improved. And I'm more from saying it in here. It's not improving. You're frantically talking about it, but frantically talking about improving the public transport and it happening is two different things. West Cork is non-connectable at this present time, and it's not good enough. Thank you.